Okay, now finally we are reaching to that particular module in which we will focus on extracting information. Remember guys, extracting information is one of the very important feature of AI, and specifically when you have various types of documents which can be maybe physical or digital documents which you have scanned, or maybe you have video, audio, or sometimes images kind of a content, and you want to extract meaningful information from that so that you can use it for further analytics. Well, if this is a requirement which you have seen in your organization, or you feel like this is going to be useful in your enterprise application, then this is a video for you. We are going to see how we can extract information from multi-model kind of a configuration with the content. So let's get started with this. As you can see, I have logged in into my lab environment, and I'm just going to log into my portal.azure.com. And this is an official lab of this particular course. So we are just going to use the lab environment, and I'll provide my credentials. Now, that's it. Keep me sign in. And it's going to give me my Azure subscription up and running already inside that. Yes, it's working fine. Now, this is the time we will move forward, and I just want you to observe one thing, that we have one particular resource group which is created by default here, which is resource group 1, and it's in the Sweden central region. So whatever resources I'm going to create today, I'm going to use the same region and the same resource group for that. In order to do that, I have to follow the instructions. So let me just go to this. The lab is extract information from multi-modal content. Let's see how we do this thing. And let's start with the first step, which is going to ai.azure.com. Basically, for all the AI services, as you know, we will go to Azure AI Foundry portal, and then we'll sign in with the same credentials here. Yes, I have successfully signed in to my Azure AI Foundry portal. And the next thing they're asking me is I have to go to my all resources. Now, all resources is basically allowing me to create two different kind of projects there. And when we create a project, we can create a project which is Azure AI Foundry resource specific project, or we can create a hub resource as well. For this particular lab, we need a hub resource. As you can see in the instructions, we are going to create a hub resource, and in that also we need a proper configuration for this. So let me just click on next, and this is going to give me a pop-up where I can configure my project name, which is going to be this, my hub name, which is going to be this one. Now, if you're following instructions from the lab like Scalable, which I'm using, just make sure you're going to follow all the instructions strictly. Do not do any kind of changes from your side. Resource group 1 is my resource group. Region is going to be Sweden Central. This is all what they have mentioned in the right side instructions. And my subscription looks fine, so I think I don't need to do anything. I'm okay with this. I'll click on create, and this project creation is going to take approximately 2 to 4 minutes. Remember, right now, one Azure AI project hub, and then inside that AI project is going to be created. So this is going to take some time. While this is creating the project, we can do the next step, which is downloading the content. Now, obviously, we want to do an content extraction kind of a thing. So we need some kind of a content which we can use for content extraction. And for that, we have one particular link which is available from Microsoft for content.zip kind of a file which they are giving here. This is a file which has a lot of content which we are going to use throughout this lab. So let me just download this first. And while the project is creating, actually, I'll show you what kind of content is there. So if I just open this folder, and if I extract this, yes, you can see right now the content folder is actually having different kind of documents here. I have some PDF documents which are actually invoice with the different invoice ID like 1234, 1235. I have two videos as well, meeting 1, meeting 2, which are maybe a recorded meetings. We have two slides which are basically a presentation slides. If I open them, you'll be able to see that the slides are going to have some kind of charts inside that. Like slide 1 is actually having some bar chart and some pie chart kind of a thing for Adventure Work Cycles. That's a vendor or merchant name. And then slide 2 is also having some kind of diagram for Contoso Limited. Now, these images, which are basically slides, this call recordings, the meeting recording with the video, and the invoice is a PDF, are actually different types of documents, or I can say different kind of content, which we will use as an input here. and then based on that, we will try to extract information from that. How exactly we do this thing? Well, that's a big good question, but that's how we are going to see this thing practically. So let's just see if the project creation is done. If project is created, we are going to follow the steps and we are going to extract information from invoices document first. Remember guys, this is one particular lab in which there are chances that because this is a lab environment, sometimes some configurations will not work properly. So when you try to extract information, maybe it will not identify the proper fields or it's not going to be able to extract it properly. If that happens, we have to retry that process. So the simple thumb of rule for this kind of a lab environment is you just retry the process. So it happens a couple of times. I'll show you that thing if it happens with me as well. We'll just retry and things will work fine. Let's just wait for this to complete. Okay, now my project is created as you can see here. And that means that we'll directly focusing on extracting information from invoice documents, in which first I just want to go into content understanding. This is the topic which we are focusing today in depth. So under the build and customize, I'll go to content understanding. Let me just do zoom out a little bit because it's too much zoomed in. And now inside the content understanding, we basically have some ready-made samples available for information extraction from invoices and some general document analysis kind of thing. But in our case, what we're going to do is we are going to use a steps. So basically when we focus on the steps, it's asking me to create a custom task. So you can see here, we have a tab for custom task. We'll create our own new custom task with some meaningful name, like I'm giving a name of this invoice analysis. The description is going to be extract data from invoice. And now we have different templates which are available. We can use a single file analysis, we can use cross file analysis kind of things, and there are some other configurations which we can do. I'm just going to follow the instructions. So it's showing me that you go single file content analysis, and in the advanced settings you make sure that your AI service connections are there with the storage account. So it's actually there. I don't need to change anything. I'm happy with this. I'm going to click on create. Also, just to notice one thing, that both of these things are right now in the preview mode. Basically, it's not production ready right now. It's a very new feature of Azure AI Foundry portal, and we are showing you this in this particular recording because it's a part of the official course exam. Now, when you're learning this thing, as I told you, there are chances sometimes things will not work, then you just have to retry. Okay, I'm going with the preview mode. I'm going to click on create. It's just going to take few seconds to create the task, and once the task is done, using one of the invoice, like right now in the instructions they are saying that we are going to use invoice 1234.pdf, and using that invoice we will just try to define the schema configuration with this. Obviously once the schema configuration is created, then we can modify that, and then after that we can reuse that same schema. So let's see how we can do that. Yes, my custom task is created. Let's click on the browse file to define the schema. We'll go to the downloads folder. We'll take invoice 1234.pdf. And once it is here, as per this configuration, you can see right now it's showing you that you just use that particular file, and they're saying if error accessing the storage occurs, wait for the minute and then try again. That's what which is mentioned in the instructions as well. Now this is done. It's actually showing me that my schema configuration is available. Select one of the template to start. Now in this case, as per the instructions, we are going to follow invoice data extraction. So I'm going to use this one, invoice data extractions, and then I'm going to click on create. You can see based on the predefined model is actually taking care of a couple of feeds inside this. Now obviously whichever things we don't want, we can delete it. So it's showing me here in the information that in the list suggested field, select billing address, and then this field is not needed for the invoice format which you have uploaded. So use the delete field. So you can just go to billing address, and then you can click on the delete field kind of an icon here to delete that. Now same way we can customize this thing. So they are saying that now delete the following suggested fields which aren't needed for your invoice schema. What are these things? Well, billing address receipt, not needed. Customer address receipt, not needed. Same way customer ID, customer tax ID, due date, invoice total. Invoice date is required, but invoice total is not required. Payment terms, previous unpaid balance, purchase order, remittance address, remittance address receipt, service address, then service address receipt, shipping address receipt, total discount, vendor address receipt, and vendor tax ID, and tax details. That's it. These are the fields which are required in my invoice. Now, you can obviously customize this based on your invoice which you're uploading. So my invoice is just requiring this kind of fields. Other things I have just deleted. And then we can also add some of the fields. So if there are certain fields which are there in your invoice, but it's not there in the schema, you can click on add new field. I'm specifying the field is vendor phone. Description is going to be vendor telephone number, which is of type string. So which is perfect. And I'm going to add it. Adding one more field, which is shipping fee, then fee for shipping. This is of type number, and we'll add this field as well. Now, these two new fields we have added, and it's available in this particular configuration right now. So if this is done, we can just click on save. And now this is a moment, it's actually going to start the analysis. Now, remember, this analysis can take some time. And sometimes if some fields are mismatched or it's not able to identify them properly, it's going to show you analysis fail. If that happens, you just have to click on run analysis once again. Or sometimes you just have to run analysis after uploading additional file. In my case, it's working fine. It's showing me green tick. So this means that my fields are identified. And you can see right side, we have some information extraction, which is also successfully done. If this is all good, it's fine. But again, if you want to customize this further, you can do that thing. You can go back to define schema and you can change things also. Like in my case, it's showing me that remove the following subfields from the items table. Now, if I go back in the define schema again, and now if you see there is an items which is of type table. So I can click on this particular icon, and inside the items table, we have certain fields which we do not want. So they are asking us to remove that. For example, date, then product code, then unit, then tax amount, and then tax rate. Now, maybe these things were not required in this field, so I've just again edited that. Again, I'm going to save this thing. And whenever you do the changes, you have to make sure that you run analysis, and then it should be successfully executed with that. Sometimes, as I told you, if this is not successfully done, you reconfigure the schema and then you rerun the analysis. Or sometimes you just upload the document once again and then run the analysis, and it's going to work fine. Now, I'm just waiting for this to complete. If this is done, I'm just going to focus on next thing, which is my configuration for analyzer list. So this is done. It's showing me green tick once again. We got the field, we got the extracted values, and now is the time we have to build and taste an analyzer for invoices. And how can we do this thing? We'll go to the analyzer list. We do not have any analyzer as of now. We'll build an analyzer, and I'm giving a name of this invoice analyzer because it's basically using invoice data. I'm going to provide a description and we'll click on build. While building this analyzer, we will just wait for this to make sure that the status of this is showing you ready. You can see it's immediately showing me ready, so it's perfectly fine. And then when this is showing you the analyzer is available, we'll click on the invoice analyzer link, and it's showing me the schema configuration, which is, I know that is perfectly fine because this is what we have customized. We'll go to the test tab, we'll upload the test file, and this time I'm going to use a different invoice. So we have created the schema for this invoice, but now we are trying another invoice, which is basically following the same format, but it's a different content which is there inside this. We'll do the run analysis for this. We'll wait for some time. Now there are chances if the analyzer is working fine, it's going to run analysis successfully with the green tick. Again, if there are mismatched with the fields, there are chances it's going to show you failure. It totally depends on the content which you're uploading. For me, the analysis is successfully done. And if that is the case, I can just click on code example, and then you can see it's actually showing me the code samples also available for this. So if I want to use this in my application, all I have to do is just copy this code, create a new application, and then paste it inside that. So this is how it is. It's an analyzer which you can reuse as many times as you want. Now, it's all good right now. Analysis is working fine. I'm just going to close this, and my analyzer is perfectly fine. So we can just close the invoice analyzer page. And now it's the time we are going to move forward to the other type of the content. So invoice analysis is perfectly done. Let's focus on the next type, which is slide images. So basically we'll use the images as an input and we'll create an analyzer using that. Let me go back to my content understanding once again. I'll click on custom task as usual. We'll create a new custom task. This time, this is for slide analysis. And the description is extract data from an image of a slide. This is also going to use single file content analysis. This is also associated with the same Azure AI service connections. I just need to make sure it's there. And I'm going to click on create. So all the steps are very similar and same. We'll wait for this task to be created, and then again we know the content, so we have two different slides in that. One slide we will use for defining schema, another slide we will use for tasting it. So let's click on the browse file. I'll use slide 1.jpg first. In the options of this, we are going to choose image analysis. So this is very important that you choose a proper template for that. I'm using image analysis, and then I'm going to click on create. Now for the image analysis, it's not showing me any fields in the schema predefined. I'm going to add a new field, and I'm going to provide my kind of fields like title, then summary, then charts, basically how many charts are there, number of charts, which is of type integer. And then after this, we want to add a new field, which is going to be quarterly revenue. But in this case, we want to specifically specify certain types. So we are specifying quarterly revenue, which is revenue per quarter. And in the type of this, we are actually going to specify table. And when it's a table, you actually have to specify multiple fields with that. So when you do this, you'll go inside the table field. And now here as well, we have to specify which quarter, and one more field, which is basically a subfield, revenue, for that particular quarter, which is of type number. Once you're done with this, your table is successfully created, so you can click on OK. We are back to add new field. We'll add a new field, which is product category now, which is going to be of type table again. This is another table. And inside the product category, I want to specify two more subfields, which is product category name and another subfield, which is revenue percentage for that particular product category, which is obviously of type number. We are done with the schema configuration, and again we are going to be going back, and you can see it's showing me all the fields. Two of the fields are actually of type table, which is perfectly fine, and I'm going to click on save, and it's going to run analysis, and it's going to generate certain analysis result with this. Let's wait for some time. It's done very quickly, showing me green tick, showing me the title, summary, charts. It's showing me two charts are there, and it's showing me quarterly revenue also for 3 quarters, and it's showing me product category specific revenue percentage in that. Like bikes are having 40%, accessories are having 35%, which is actually, it's capable enough to extract the information from the slide. So this is how cool is it. Let's move forward to the next thing. So we got the fields. Now let's build a test analyzer for this. So let's click on analyzer list. We'll build the analyzer using this, giving a name of this thing slide analyzer, which we can reuse with our code. And then once it is done, we'll just go inside the slide analyzer and we want to test it. So we'll go to the test tab. And this time I'm going to upload a test slide, which is slide number 2. Now slide number 2 is having only one chart inside that, so it's not having two charts actually. Let's see if it's able to analyze that or not. Yep, within a few seconds it's done, and it's showing me that title is there, summary is there, chart is also there. These things are not found because it's not required in this. But quarterly revenue is there, which is showing me revenue for each quarter, which is perfectly retrieved. It's perfectly working fine. So obviously we'll just close this and we can go to the code example. We can take the code and we can try that thing using a REST API. So that's exactly the same kind of a configuration which is there. I'm going to close the analyzer. So 2 analyzers are actually done in our case. And so we can close the slide analyzer page and we can again now move forward for the audio recording. So let's go to the audio part quickly. I'm going to custom task again. 2 custom tasks are done. Let's create a third one. This is for a voice recorded voicemail. So we are going to give a name, voicemail analysis, then description of that. And then it's also single file content analysis, which we are doing right now. Make sure the connections are there. We'll click on create. Now for this also, we have 2 different calls which are available. Both are in MP3 format. I'll upload the first call, which is call1.mp3. I'll choose that this is going to be my speech transcript analysis, which is the first one. And I'm going to click on create. This is an audio which is associated with this. So we can get the transcript preview here if I want. So that's something which we can try right now. So it's going to read this audio file. It's going to show me the transcript preview available here. And while this is doing this, actually, I can add multiple fields here. So let me add a field. Person who left the message. It's all type string, which is fine. Then summary of the message. It's again a string. Yeah, I think all are string except the last one. Then adding a new field, actions. So what are the requested actions which are there inside that? Then callback number, telephone number to return the call. And last one, which is alternative contacts, which can be multiple actually. And that's why in the alternative contact details, the type we are going to choose, which is list of strings. And we'll add this. Now these 5 fields are enough for me. You can see the transcript is also generated. It's saying speaker 1, hi, this is Eva from Contoso, just calling to follow up our meeting last week. And this is how it is actually. Verify that we have all this configuration done and then click on save. That's what we have done. Let's wait for the analysis. Yes, showing me the green tick here. Analysis is done. And you can see right now it's showing me caller is Eva. Summary is also visible. Action is also visible. Callback number and alternative context is also available. So it's extracting successfully, which is great. And if that is done, the same steps we are going to repeat, which we have done in the previous parts, which is we are going to do build and test analyzer for this. So let me just go back to analyzer list again. We'll build the analyzer for this as well, giving a name of this voicemail analyzer with the similar kind of a description. We'll build it. It will be done in few seconds. And then if it is done, we can actually go inside this. We can taste it with the separate audio file, which is our call 2. We'll run analysis and we'll check it is working for call 2 as well or not. Yes, call 2 analysis is also done. And this time, if you see, it's identifying caller is Davis. The summary of the call, the action is pick up the car keys at reception. And it's also showing me callback and alternative contacts. Perfectly fine. So it's working fine. I'm just going to close this. I do not want to check the code example, but yeah, that's going to show me the similar kind of code. And the third analyzer is also created here. And that means we'll go to the fourth and the last one, which is video analyzer. So let's just go back to content understanding. Custom task. We'll create a fourth custom task, which is for conference call video analysis. Extract data from a video conference recording. It's also going to be single file. and in the advanced settings, connections are there. Yes, of course. Now the storage account connection is very important because all the configurations are getting stored with the storage account. So just make sure you make sure that all the configurations are properly configured in this. For meeting recordings also, we have two different recordings. So first I'm going to use my first MP4 file, which is meeting 1. We'll choose that this is a video analysis for this. So this is a video analysis. I'm going to click on create. Okay, now as usual, the video is uploaded here, and I'm just going to add my fields. So the first field is summary of the discussion. It's of type string, which is perfect. Then I'll add one more field, which is participants, count of the meeting participants, which is obviously of type integer. Okay, now we are going to add one more field, which is participants' names, name of meeting participants, which is of type list of string because it can be multiple as well. And one more field, which is shared slides, which also can be multiple. So this is also going to be list of strings. And finally, the last field, which is assign actions, which is a task assigned to participants. And that's why we'll change the type of this to, now once it is table type, we'll just add this, and then we have to add extra fields, which are basically subfields. So we'll add task, description of the task, then assign to, basically who is assigned to that particular task, and that's it. We'll click OK, save. This is done. The schema is defined, and let's see if this is going to analyze the video properly or not. Now remember, in this video we have two different participants. So basically when we focus on this, in the participants we should get two. We have Jenny and we have Eva. If I have more than two participants, then also this analysis should work based on the schema. Let's just wait for this to complete. Yes, this video analysis is done, and as you can see here, it's showing me that the full summary participants are 3. Okay, so let's see if the third participant is also there or not. And when we see this, we have Eva, Jenny, and maybe Max is also there. I think that Max is coming after some time. Yeah, I think you can see right now in the video, the third participant is also visible, Max. The shared slide is actually 1. There's only one slide which is shared for the product launch collateral. So maybe somewhere that slide is also going to be there. Yeah, this is the slide. And I think the analysis is working fine. That's really cool. Let's move forward, and the field span are also showing me all the results. That's fine. Now let's go to the analyzer list. We'll build the analyzer. This is conference call analyzer, conference call video analyzer, and we'll click on build. It will be ready within few seconds, and then we just want to go inside this. We want to taste this with the additional video file. So let me just upload meeting 2, run analysis. Let's see if it is working for meeting 2 as well. Okay, the analysis is done. Now, if you check here, this is showing me 2 participants, Harry and Lisa. Participants' names are also there. Shared slide is 1, which is projected user adoption for the first time. Okay, let's see if the slide is there. Yeah, we have a projected user adoption, which is a slide. So it's working fine, and it's showing me the full transcript with the content. It's cool. Now, this is it. Obviously, you can use the code example. You can use the video analysis code directly. You can copy and paste, and then it's going to use. So this is perfectly fine. Let me close this. And our 4 analyzers and our 4 custom tasks are actually created in this lab. I hope you understood this. You understood the schema customization as well. That's a very important part. Very soon, this is not going to be preview. Very soon, it's going to be stable. But yeah, even though it's preview right now, it's working fine, which is great. And that's it. The last thing is we are just going to clean up the resources. I will do that But I hope you enjoyed this video. You like this step-by-step process which we have gone through. And now, no matter what kind of content you have, using this multimodal content extraction, you can actually understand the content and extract the content, which you can use for the further analysis. That's how it works. Thank you so much. This is Maruti. I'll see you tomorrow.